The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to factorise a non-monic quadratic. Now what I want you to remember first is that a quadratic is an expression of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. And a non-monic quadratic is just one where a does not equal 1. So let's look at a first example. Let's say we have a quadratic 2x squared minus 9x plus 7. So what we want to think about first is what our a, b and c are. So we've got a equals 2, b equals -9 and c equals 7. So I'm going to do up a little table just to sort of help do the thinking. So we want to think about what AC is. 2 times 7 is 14 and b is -9. Now we're looking for a combination of numbers that are going to multiply to give 14 and add to give -9. So one thing to keep in mind is that when we're multiplying to a positive number, we can either have 2 positives or 2 negatives, but we know we're adding to a negative number. So that means both our numbers are going to be negative. So for example, I could have -1 times -14, but that doesn't add to -9. So I'll try another combination. We could have -2 times -7. Now, -2 plus -7 does add to -9. So we know that's the combination that we're looking for. So what we're going to do now is we need to separate our middle term up into 2 terms. We're going to keep the 2x squared the same. And instead of putting the -9x, I'm going to put minus 2x minus 7x. And then we just put the plus 7 at the end. So now we're going to pair up the first 2 terms and pair up the second 2 terms and factorise those pairs. So here, our common factor is 2x, and we'll have in brackets x minus 1. Now here, we can see our common factor is 7, but what we want to keep in mind, when we've got the leading term as a negative here, we're going to bring the negative out with it. So I'm going to bring out -7. That way, what we end up with in the brackets is x minus 1, which matches the other bracket, and that's what we want. Now, between these 2 terms, the x minus 1 is the common factor, and what's left in the other bracket is the 2x minus 7. There we go, job done. The quadratic is factorised. Now, I'm just going to show you another method that some people might like to use. It can be quicker once you get the hang of it. So starting with the same quadratic, what I'm going to do this time is go straight with our numbers that we found here, straight into the brackets. What I've got to keep in mind, when I've got 2x squared, I have to put 2x in each of my brackets. I'm going to go 2x minus 2 and 2x minus 7. But then I put it all over 2. Now, what happens is one of your brackets, you'll notice, or sometimes both, have a common factor within. This one has a common factor of 2, so I'm going to take that out and leave me with x minus 1. The other one doesn't have a common factor, so it stays the same. Keep it over 2, and now you'll notice that very conveniently those 2's cancel. So now we're left with our answer. There. So it doesn't matter which method you use, you just do whatever one works best for you. Now I'm going to do another example. Let's say we have the quadratic 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. So once again, let's think about what a, b and c are. So at this time, a equals 10, b equals 11, and c equals -6. So doing the little table, I've got AC is -60 and B is equal to 11. So I'm looking for a combination of numbers that multiply to give -60 and add to give 11. So let's see, we could have, for example, now just keep in mind when you're multiplying to a negative number, you can have one, you must have one negative and one positive. So for example, I could go -6 times 10 but I could also have 6 times negative 10. Now, neither of those combinations add to 11, so we have to keep looking. What about negative 4 times 15? Now, if we have a look, negative 4 plus 15 adds to 11. So that's the combination that we want. So once again, we keep our first term the same, but we split the second term up using the numbers that we found. So I'm going to have minus 4x plus 15x, and then I'm going to have the minus 6 on the end. So pairing up the first two and pairing up the second two, and then factorising each of those. So here I've got a common factor of 2x, and that's going to leave me with 5x minus 2 in brackets. Now here I've got a common factor of 3, and that will leave me with 5x minus, whoops, that's not an x, 5x minus 2 in brackets as well. Our brackets match, so we know we're on the right track. So now looking at these two terms, our common factor is 5x minus 2. And then what we'll have in the other bracket is what's left, the 2x plus 3. There we go, the quadratic is factorised. Now just to demonstrate the other method again, so I'll just write the starting quadratic here again. So this time what we're doing is going straight with these numbers into our brackets, but we have to think we've got a 10x squared here, so I have to go 10x minus 4 and 10x plus 15, and then put the whole thing over 10. Now notice this time we've got a common factor in each bracket. Here our common factor is 2, so that's going to leave me with 5x minus 2 in brackets. And then here our common factor is 5, and that will leave me with 2x plus 3 in brackets. And then putting it all over 10. Notice though, now these things are all multiplied together in the numerator, don't forget. So notice we've got the 2 and the 5, and 2 times 5 is 10. So together they cancel with the 10 on the bottom. And that leaves us with our answer, which is the same as what we got using the other method. So there you go, 2 ways to factorise the quadratic, and you can decide which one works best for you.